Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's Kirsten Liebelt. How are you guys doing? It's Friday. Oh, we all love Friday, don't we? Get out of our routine a little bit. Maybe we do something exciting. I don't know. For me, maybe I'll go shopping. I don't know. Actually, I have a kind of a packed weekend. So I've got like lots of really, really good, busy things going on this weekend. So that's very exciting. But I wanted to wrap up this week, you guys, with just a little bit of hacks from Dr. Ken Berry. How does that sound for you guys today? I found myself really referencing him a lot this week. And I thought, my whole thought process when it comes to like coming every day, and if you don't know who I am, my name is Kirsten Liebelt, and I basically turned back on my own insulin resistance in my 40s, even though I had been insulin resistant for 20 years. And my dad died of type 2 when he was 63. And now here I am, 59. I'm almost 60. So I'm thinking, wow, he was really young. That's amazing how young you think somebody else is, the closer you get to their age. But I got a text this morning from somebody who was telling me about her own advocacy and what she's doing to shift things in her life. And I'm like, that's what makes me the happiest, is when you guys tell me that you are becoming your own advocate. You're taking back your own body so that you can finally feel good, because maybe the advice you've been given hasn't really added up to very much excitement of feeling good on a regular basis. And so Dr. Ken Berry is one of those really great resources, guys. Was it yesterday or the day before, and we were talking about cholesterol? I think it was yesterday. And we actually went through the bad symptoms, side effects of an STATIN, anyway, any hoodle. That kind of stuff you can look up online. You can go to YouTube and you can put in Dr. Ken Berry cholesterol, Dr. Ken Berry, and then whatever it is, because when you are turning back around what you believe about a certain narrative, having resources like that, they're priceless. They're just priceless, because then you are able to be like, wait a second. Do you mean blah, blah, blah? Like, all this time I've thought this way, and now here's a different way for me to think. And you're like, what? It took me time to be able to speak out loud certain things, because you're just questioning yourself. Like, could it possibly be true that this information that's been given to us for all of this time from the medical community is actually not right? Like, how can this possibly be true? Like, you're just in disbelief. And then maybe you have a hard time speaking it out, because good morning. Thank you for the likes, Lisa Holland. I love like your flowers. Those make me so happy. Thank you so much for jumping on and giving me all the likes. I so appreciate you guys. Thank you. Yesterday, I went my entire TikTok live, and I never told anybody to like my thing. I forgot. I'm supposed to tell people like it, so that, share it so it gets out into the FYP, do all of those things, because it's the only way that you can get it in front of strangers, so that other people can get the good information. Okay, so thank you, Lisa. You're making my day right now. My Friday is so much better because of that. But we question ourselves, like, can we actually go against the narrative? Almost like we're doing something wrong. We are well, we know what it felt like in 2020. If you spoke up about anything starting in 2020, you were shut down fast, and you were told all sorts of terrible, stupid things in connection to your having an opinion. So now, what on the other side of that, all of my journey and that, I am the only one that has avoided type 2 in my family. I have a lot of type 2 and obesity in my Italian family. I'm for myself, when I started with, and I talk about this all the time, but when I started with targeted supplementation, the trio, the 3 supplements that help with insulin sensitivity, it prepped my body, and I lost 3 sizes in my 50s. I traded out my ingredients, which I thought I would never do in a gazillion years. Being Italian, I thought that wasn't going to ever happen. I do have a Facebook group called Ditch insulin resistance for women. And we do a 5-day challenge in there every single every single month. And today is the last day of the one for August. And I'm going to make I should have looked it up. Okay, hold on. I'm just going to make it up. I think I'm close. A keto lemon blueberry butter cake. That's what we're making today. Anyway, so we do things like that. So now what I know is that I'm just going to keep talking. I'm just going to keep sharing with people. I'm just going to keep resourcing you. I'm just going to keep educating you. Every day, if one person comes to my universe that's brand new, that decides, good morning, Cheryl, happy Friday. One person, I just need one person every day. And it happens like literally every day. I have at least one person that reaches out to me and says, I've chosen to become my own advocate. I've chosen to take back my body. I've chosen to I'm getting off of BP meds. I'm whatever it is. The testimonies that I have from the trio, those 3 supplements are just phenomenal. I don't make any claims at all, but I'll just tell you where to go find the testimonies, right? I can do that. Top of the Instagram page, pink highlight bubble, or in the group, guide number 4. So that you can encourage yourself, get your hopes up. Okay. That you can take an alternative plan, an alternative track. You don't have to be on that track anymore. Yesterday, when we went through all of those negative effects of STATINSs, those are all of the things, and they're horrific, like hemorrhagic stroke. Or hemorrhagic stroke, whatever. Like those are the things that are said in the really soft female voice at the end of an ad for the script. Just ask your doctor today. Honestly, right? So we're going to take back our bodies. We're going to take back our energy. We're going to take back our function. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make more memories because we can. My dad could not make any more memories after July 14th, 1995, because at 63, he was dead. But we can make memories as long as we're on this side of heaven, right? And we can do it with function and feeling good. When you wake up and you don't ache because you've started to turn back your insulin resistance, that's me, 59. I don't take any meds. Okay. Core of everything is insulin resistance in my world and in my conversation. It might not be actually that true statement, but that's my world. So that's why I speak from insulin resistance every day. Okay. Good morning, Magda. Good morning. Good morning, Liz. Sunshine, your sunshine. Good morning, Mary. You guys, everybody's here. The party is here. I love it so much. You have been trying to be your own advocate. You have learned you must be patient with yourself. Thank you for saying that, Liz. That is absolutely true. I teach a lot and I talk about this a lot, and then I'll get into my content here. I just want to give you some of 5 hacks from Dr. Ken Berry. You've probably heard these before, but I wanted to bring it to you from somebody else so that you can understand why, from his perspective, why this would be fat loss hacks. I talk about it a lot because it was my own journey of choosing to be my own advocate without shaming myself for it. Because in my childhood of being Italian, there were a lot of messages in my brain, right? You're supposed to eat. And then when you gain weight, you're supposed to lose weight. And then when you lose weight, you're supposed to not get too skinny. You're supposed to clean your plate. You're supposed to do all of these things. And so we have this stuff hanging out in our brains and we have to get rid of it. And it takes patience. Liz hit the nail on the head. It takes patience. You have to have grace for yourself. You have to have grace for your journey. That's why when I talk to people about taking supplementation, when you target your supplements, please don't think you can take targeted supplements for 2 weeks and fix your body. I'm never going to make that claim. That's not true. You could maybe start to see some results on the front end, right? Like people lose weight, all that good stuff. Sugar's coming down. That's the whole point of the trio. That's what gets me the most excited. But what if it takes you a full year to get your BP down? What if it did? But the time's going to pass anyway. Okay. What if it did take you a year to get your morning sugars down, but the time is going to pass anyway? So No shame on your journey, patience, and you'd be amazed at how far you can go. So if you're not in the group already, ditch insulin resistance for women, jump in. Today's the last day of the 5-day challenge for August. But then I teach targeted supplements. I teach the trio. Then I teach ingredient trade outs. We just did that this week. And then we're going to do a challenge every month. So this one will be posted into the featured section, the 5 days of this week. And then we'll do another one in September. And you'll have an actual track to run on with actual support, with actual encouragement, with actual like resourcing and like, I was going to say educating, but that's the same thing. So resourcing, etc. And then I am going to start working on this book with you guys too in the group, Self-Sabotage No More, because girls, we're pros at sabotaging our success or our momentum. We're pros at stopping ourselves. It's really not good. So, all right. Let's get into it today. Tell me which one of these you've already incorporated, or which one of these you're going to incorporate, or maybe you didn't even ever hear about. But I have a feeling you guys, you know stuff because you're on my content every day. So you know that these are a part of the deal. But let me just give them to you from Dr. Ken Berry. So he's a well-known advocate for the ketogenic and carnivore diets, and he shares several strategies to help with fat loss. And here are his top fat loss hacks. Number 1, and we already know this one for sure, cut out all sugars and processed carbs. I thought I would never do this. Never, ever, ever in a million years did I think I was going to do this. Why it works. Dr. Berry emphasizes that sugar and refined carbohydrates are primary culprits in weight gain and metabolic issues, which is completely true. By eliminating these, you reduce insulin spikes and you promote fat burning. Focus on whole, unprocessed foods, avoiding bread, pasta, sweets, and sugary drinks. Instead, eat plenty of protein. We talk about protein a lot, don't we? Healthy fats and non-starchy vegetables. That's number 1. Number 2, increase your protein intake. Man, you guys, we cannot emphasize this one enough. You just can't emphasize it enough. Why it works? Because protein is highly satiating. It helps preserve muscle mass during weight loss. We talk about this a lot. That's why I'll get up in the morning and eat like 3 eggs and one of those like chicken sausages that I can get at like Aldi's or Walmart, the Gilbert's brand. That has like 14 grams of protein in it. But that's like over, by the time I'm done putting that together, that's like over 30 grams of protein just for breakfast. Okay. Highly satiating, helps preserve your muscle mass during weight loss. Dr. Berry recommends prioritizing protein to ensure you are not losing fat, but also maintaining muscle. So you want to be doing both, right? Include high quality protein sources like meat, fish, eggs, and poultry in every single meal. I go through so many eggs. I have a local lady who does her own eggs, and I'll buy like 10 dozen at a time. In fact, I need to give her a ring when I need more. I'm running out. This will help you feel longer, and actually it helps you to reduce overall calorie intake. Like we don't think about that all the time. If you're eating something that makes you like hungry right away, you're just going to eat more. That really does increase your calorie intake, right? Number 3, he talks about incorporating intermittent fasting. I do this more by default. I'm not super good at planning it. I'm working on getting your protein in. Hardest one for you, Judy. Yes, I know. It takes time, and you almost have to almost eliminate other things in order to be able to get that protein in, because it does fill you up so well. It keeps you satiated, and then your blood sugars will literally hum like for hours. Your blood sugars will just and you'll feel so dang good. You'll be like, wow, like you have energy, you're not crashing. So sometimes you do have to like say no to other things just so that you can get in the protein, because like, Lisa, thank you so much. I'm just going to give you hearts, and maybe it'll give me hearts on Instagram if I do that. But thank you, Lisa. I so appreciate you. I understand what you mean, because I do prioritize protein all the time. Intermittent fasting helps regulate insulin levels, okay, and increases fat burning by extending the period during which your body is in a fat burning state. Dr. Berry suggests starting with a 16-8 fasting schedule, 16 hours of fasting with an 8-hour eating window, and adjusting based on what works best for your lifestyle. So I feel like I end up doing this somewhat by default, but I'm really not a good tracker on this at all. But I understand the concept and it can be very helpful. So if you do intermittent fasting, like that can be very beneficial, right? It's just my own. I kind of wake up in the morning and then I wait until I'm hungry. Some mornings I wake up and I'm hungry right away. Some mornings I'm not hungry until like noon, like, or whatever. And it makes it easier to create that fasting window. Number 4, avoid healthy processed foods. We all know about these healthy processed foods, especially in the keto thought process, because they just market to you. Just market, right? Many foods marketed as healthy or low fat are often loaded with hidden sugars, unhealthy oils, and artificial ingredients that can hinder fat loss. Stick to real whole foods. Read labels carefully and avoid foods with long ingredient lists or anything that claims to be diet or low fat, especially if you're keto. So we already know that you're not looking for low fat. That's not your goal. You actually want good, real fats, like the good ones though, right? The ones that'll really help your hormones, your brain, all of those things, right? The olive oil, coconut oil, butter, lard, ghee, all of those things are really, really helpful, right? Makes your hormones so dang happy. I can't even explain how happy my body feels when I eat certain foods, right? But there are a lot of keto products on the market that when you look at them, they're trash. They're just trash. And so you can't take their word for it. They're in the business of profits. They're in the business of making money off of telling you what they think you want to hear. There's nothing wrong with making a profit. Obviously, I'm a business owner. I get that. But they're in the business of trying to get you to believe something that may or may not be true of their product because they just want you to buy it, right? So the keto industry has been so tainted by this process. I mean, it's terrible because there are a lot of people thinking, I'm eating clean, I'm eating keto, I'm low carb, but yet it's not working. And you might just need to be turning things around and looking at the ingredients. Okay. If it has seed oils and, tapioca flour and whatever, I don't even know. I shouldn't say that one because that might not be the best example, but there are different things like that that aren't helpful for ingredients. And then the last one, you guys, is prioritizing your sleep and your stress management. And I did a reel on this the other day about how if you do not fix your sleep, you're really shooting yourself in the foot, because then the next day your insulin resistance is up and your cortisol is up. It's so bad. And cortisol is, of course, your stress hormone. Megda says the chicken liver, oh my gosh, has 28 grams of protein, just saying. And you're doing intermittent fasting as well. Oh, you guys, I've got to get better about working. I don't do well eating liver. I know it's really good for you though. Really, really good for you. I have beef liver in my freezer right now that I'm just probably not going to eat. I know it's terrible because it's so good for you and it's from grass-fed beef. So if you live in Minnesota, let me know. Wendy, good morning, Wendy. Good to see you. You love my suggestions to have made. I love your suggestion to have ready-made taco meat and lasagna ready in the fridge. Have you found a good taco seasoning? Mary says no on the liver. Mary, I'm with you. I'm with you. I haven't, I have actually found the best way, Wendy, is to create your own taco seasoning. It's not hard at all. And what you can do is, I'm going to look it up right here and see if I can find something for you, because obviously a lot of the seasonings have, I'm going to put in this, I'm going to do what I teach you guys to do in the challenges. I'm going to put in keto taco seasoning, and I'm going to have somebody tell me, I'm going to get past all of the pre-made stuff. I wonder if Primal Kitchen does something though. Most of the pre-made ones are probably going to be really disgusting as far as ingredients go. They're going to throw seed oils in there. They're going to throw, ooh, you can't do. Judy says no to the liver. Brenda says no to the liver. That's hilarious. I know, you guys, but it's so good for you. It's seriously like, it's like a superfood. But I'm like, my mom used to once a year, she would do like liver, bacon, and onions, and the smell in the house. That's probably what gets it for me. I'm going to tell you, Wendy, kind of what it's made out of. Let me see here. Okay, so this is what this one's made out of: chili powder, cumin, paprika. They say that they prefer smoked paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, dried oregano, cayenne pepper, salt. And I think that's it. And if you just put in keto taco seasoning and find a recipe for it, you're going to find something that doesn't have any sugar in it or whatever. The problem with these pre-packaged mixes is that they just throw crap in there. So I'm trying to think of a good line. You can look at the store, I guess, too, right? You can't do beef liver though. Yuck, Megda says. That's so funny. In fact, I don't understand why we would eat liver if the liver is the thing that cleans their system too. I know they say it's good. I know. It's a good question, Mary, right? So let's find that out. Hold on. I'm going to actually hold on now that you ask. Let's see if I can get my computer to work. We'll do Friday morning fun here. Hold on. I don't think I'm low, actually. I'm doing really good. Thank you. Thank you. I just lost my internet. That could be Brenda. So Brenda's saying, what about Thrive Taco Spice? That's probably, actually, now that you say that, Brenda, probably one of the best ideas. So Thrive is actually, it's an annual membership. And so you may or may not care about that, or may or may not do that, but I forgot about that. I've had a membership since like 2020, and you're able to buy like lower priced organic seasonings and or condiments, etc. And I actually have a link on my website, kirstenliebelt.com. You can always go and look at that if you want to, but not everybody's down for an annual membership. I forget what it is every year. Maybe it's $65. It's kind of like a Costco. But you know what? They do sell things like Primal Kitchen and they have their own brand, Thrive. And that's probably what you're referring to, Brenda. Maybe that would be a really good idea. You're welcome, Wendy. You didn't think about that. Oh, you're so sweet. No, you, Wendy. So, okay, I was going to ask that question, and now I'm trying to find hold on. Just a second. Here we go. Good morning, Anna. Good morning, beautiful Anna. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to look up one thing for you guys here. I actually have, very clean products. Yeah, Thrive Market has very clean products, very helpful. And especially if you do not live in a metropolitan area like I do, where I can just run to almost any store and find Lily's chocolate or, a lot of the different Primal Kitchen products or whatever. Sometimes I really take for granted that this is, I live so close to everything. And there are people who definitely need to be able to order things online and have it delivered to your house. And it really is a great way. And the link on my page is actually an affiliate link. So I do want to disclose that if you're looking for a Thrive Market membership. But they do have clean products, and I have used them a lot. So hold on just a second. I'm going to look this up, because that is a really good question. And I know that I've asked that before myself. Like, what the question that she's asking is, why, if the liver is something that is a detoxifying organ, why would it be so helpful for us to eat if that is the truth of, like, let's say beef liver, chicken liver, or whatever? And oh, here we go. Store my pages. I don't know why it bombed out on me, but it did. There we go. But I'm going to ask that question. So yes, yes, yes. And so you know what, as far as Dr. Ken Berry goes, you guys, this is literally you. There's nothing you can't look up in 2024. There's absolutely nothing. We have access to the best of the best as to when it comes to how to even eat a clean keto or how to actually become our own advocate when we're thinking about, we've heard somebody say that maybe we don't want to be on an STATIN. All you have to do is look up Dr. Ken Berry cholesterol and get a good video from him or something like that. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to pull that up. So shoot. Let me see here. Hi, Joanne. How are you? Good to see you. All right. Yep. I will have to look that up at another time. I apologize because all of my devices are being used. But maybe I'll do a live on that, on why organ meats are so dang good for us. And in fact, there are companies that make supplements that are organ meats because that's how good they are. You know, don't worry, ladies. I can't sell the chicken liver with my daughters. Your daughters don't want to eat chicken liver, Magda? They don't? I can understand why. I just think it's funny. You know what? When I was a little girl and we would have turkey or chicken, we all fought over the gizzards. Did anybody else fight over the gizzards? And then when I became an adult, I never ate a gizzard again. What is that all about? Why? But my dad would like fry them up with like, I don't even know what. He would just make everything taste so good. He was Italian. He knew how to make everything taste good. And we would literally, nope, she says. It's so funny. We did this all the time. I just think that is hysterical. And as I look back at that, I'm like, I don't even know what a gizzard is now. Like, I have no idea. Hi, Jan. No gizzards for me. She says, yuck. You like the heart and the liver. See, you're smart. I actually think, yes, Carrie says, you guys. I know. It's so bizarre. It is so bizarre. And I really do. Your husband used to use the live chicken gizzard, used to maybe cook chicken gizzards and livers. Yes. Your Italian mom made the best liver and onions. I know. I think I'm going to ask this question a different way. I just can't use ChatGPT. If it's okay, I'm going to find out. In chicken soup. My mom made such good chicken soup. And you know what? My mom used to put, and I don't eat it because it's a root vegetable, very starchy, but I grew up eating rutabaga all the time. Your mom ate gizzards too. You can't. Yep, I know. Isn't that funny? It's like, I don't know. I loved him as a kid though. So liver is considered a nutrient-dense food that can be good for you because it's rich in protein and minerals and it helps with detoxification. Liver is high in protein, which helps build and maintain healthy tissue and can help you feel fuller. I think that the answer is going to be liver is a great source of minerals like iron, zinc, copper, selenium, and more. A single serving can provide more than 100% of the recommended daily intake of some of these minerals. Liver contains vitamins A, B, D, E, and K, as well as folic acid. For example, a 3-ounce serving of beef liver contains 891% of the RDI for vitamin A. The liver is the body's primary filtration system, converting toxins into waste products and cleansing the blood. It also stores nutrients that help process toxins. So I think that the answer, like if I'm going to make up an answer in my brain, it's going to be because the liver does convert everything and it releases all the waste. So it's not like the waste is living inside of the liver. The liver itself is like this most amazing organ, and it's like taking everything in, it's filtering it, and it's pushing it through your waste system. So it's not sitting in the liver anymore. I feel like that's really the answer. I was just hoping to have a more official thought process, but I feel like that's really the answer. Among organ meats, animal livers typically contain the highest protein content and best amino acid profile. They are also great sources of vitamin A and B vitamins. So there you go. That's a good start anyway to that conversation. Your mom made chopped chicken livers and hard. Oh, oh my God. Wendy, her mom made, listen to this, chopped chicken livers and hard boiled eggs with mayonnaise as a sandwich spread. But you know what, Wendy? If you didn't know that that's what was in it, I bet it tasted amazing. I bet that was super good because gizzards are like super flavorful. Like, what is a gizzard? I'm going to ask that question. What is a gizzard? It's referred to as the ventriculus gastric mill. It's an organ found in the digestive tract of some animals. Wow. Gizzard in many birds, the hind part of the stomach, especially modified. You guys, this is going down a different path than I thought today. Happy Friday. Located between the sac-like crop and the intestine. It's a part of the chicken that helps them break down food because they don't have teeth. I didn't know that. I know Brenda. Brenda has the like throwing up emoji. You can't eat liver. You've tried it, like no go. When my hubby cooks beef liver, I close all the doors because I can't stand the smell. What did I start? She says. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. You were hungry, but now you're not, Lisa. It was a fix for you. Let the intermittent fasting begin. So my dad, I'm 59. My dad, let's see, he would have been close to 100 at this point, right? 28 years, whatever, 28 years older than I am right now. And that generation, they were very poor. They didn't have money. My parents were born in the Depression era. And so they grew up where they used every part of the animal. And I do remember a lot about, my dad was Italian. His dad was an immigrant from Italy. So when he came to the United States, he was actually a prisoner of war. My grandpa Fergali, he was a prisoner of war during World War I. And so when he came to the States, I mean, you didn't just spend money to spend money. So they raised you on blood pudding and all sorts of things, making head cheese out of the brains and all of these different things, both sides of my family, my British mom and my Italian dad. And so all of these things they did, right? Because you don't waste anything. My Italian grandpa, he would buy the Christmas tree like the day before Christmas Eve or on Christmas Eve because he had to find the cheapest one. And they would get it at the end. Or he would buy all the fruits here in Minneapolis, like the ones they were on the verge of like spoiling. And that's when he would go to the farmer's market and buy his food, right? So all of these foods that maybe we kind of had a little bit of growing up, it's because that's what they were taught, that you don't leave anything on the table. You don't just choose to not eat something when you're hungry. You eat the food that's put before you, right? What the heck is blood pudding? It's just what it sounds like. Just what it sounds. They would take blood like from the cow or from the chicken. I don't even know. I'm gonna assume it was beef. I'm gonna assume it was from the cow when they butchered a cow. Okay. And they would take the blood and they would literally cook it on the stove and they would add sugar and other things to it. And it turned into pudding. And if you think about it, now get past the grossness of that, but they did this all the time. This was very normal. And think about how insanely high nutrient like profile that would be. You could avoid complete malnourishment by doing that. There was somebody that was doing a video the other day and he grew up in the Depression era. He's like over 100. And he remembered that they literally, for like 3 years, there was a drought. And they would eat fried potatoes at every single meal, which would leave them nutrient deficient. They were malnourished. But if you were to do things like that, if you could have gotten your hands on like cow blood at the time to make pudding, you could have probably staved off malnourishment just because that would have been so incredibly like nutrient dense. Now you're not hungry. Wendy, I know. Um, sorry. Sorry. Yeah, I know. Seriously. But that was just you're about to finish your 18-hour fast. I know, but it's serious, and this is the thing. So, like, let's go. That was over 100 years ago or whatever. But now, look at where we're at, where we tell people that kale is a superfood. But if you look at the profile of nutrients of kale, like just do this today. This can be your homework for today. And by the way, in the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. Today is the last day of the 5-day challenge, and we're going to make I'm going to make it up, but it's something close to this. It's a keto lemon blueberry butter cake. And I made one last night. It's really good. And I'm going to make another one today at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. We do a challenge every month. Okay. But if you look up for your homework today, you go to Google or whatever, and you say, give me the nutrient profile of kale and give me the nutrient profile of beef. And you'll see which one is the superfood. I'm not saying kale is bad. I'm not saying greens are bad. Like, I took my gut primer this morning, and it has all sorts of amazing greens in it, and digestive enzymes and postbiotics and prebiotic, and it's got all the good stuff. It's got the greens. Does it have kale in here? It has a lot of grasses, spirulina, matcha tea leaf powder. It has all the good things, right? Doesn't have kale in it, but it has all the good things. So I'm not against that. And in fact, this is what my daughter really needed when she was having gallstone issues, because your liver needs, certain things to be able to help it, like create bile. You want to create bile so that your body can function. You can break down your foods, all the good stuff, right? Especially when people don't have gallbladders. I have my gallbladder, but a lot of people that don't. But anyway, so she was having gallstones. She was pregnant. They're like, take out your gallbladder. She's like, heck no, get away from me. And so she instead did digestive enzymes and greens and a liver product that's in the trio, the 3 supplements that help with insulin sensitivity. One of them is for your liver, all of those things. So, but I'm just saying, like, we've been very marketed to believe certain things. Those actually aren't the superfoods. If we were to go back, Hispanic culture, we eat marcilas, which is blood sausage. There you go. Yep. Blood sausage. My mom, I loved head cheese until I found out what it was. Because as a kid, your brain can't do it, right? Funny. Because, you just kind of go, ugh. But I loved it because they're taking the brain, I think it's cow, and they're mixing it with all sorts of whatever amazing ingredients to make it taste good. And so it was kind of almost like a spam, so to speak. But, anyway. But think about how nutrient dense these things are. What can you mix it up with? What can you mix it with so it tastes good? You have a green drink product and you just can't stand the taste. You know what I did this morning, because I'm not a greens person either. I'm not. Today was my first day of taking my gut primer. It's a brand new launch, by the way. So it was the first day, and I mixed it up with my little frother thing. Did that this morning, and I'm not a super fan of greens at all. But I have an amino acid supplement, and it's berry. I have like fireworks on Instagram. It's a wild berry. So I put that in there, and then I'm like, oh yeah, no, this is amazing. I'm definitely going to have to mix it with stuff for sure. Cause that's just I'm not a greens person, but I can understand the importance, like this has 6 different blends in it. It's got all this good stuff, right? So, but you got to get past that stuff. And hold on, I'm missing comments. I'm missing stuff. You might just do a 24-hour fast today after all of this. I don't blame you. P.S. They are delicious. Them anymore, very inflammatory. I wonder why they're inflammatory, Magda. I would love to know why that would be considered inflammatory. Because unless they're like adding, sugar, and your husband and kids eat blood sausage, not you. I know. And again, I was just raised on a lot of this stuff, and then you poo-poo it once you find out what things are, you kind of poo-poo it. I remember my dad making blood sausage in the kitchen. I remember that, but they didn't waste anything, you guys. They didn't waste any part of the animal because they needed it for their nutrition. And we just don't think that way anymore. Instead, what we do is we eat processed food and then we put down the real food. Now, I'm not going to go make blood pudding anytime soon, but I'm just saying, like, this is where we've gone in 100 years. They have us so ingrained to believe that processed foods made with chemicals and seed oils, which are chemical oils, that's a smarter decision than to eat a steak. That Fruit Loops or whatever is actually healthier for you because it's grain. That's better for you than a steak. That's not true. That's a lie. That's a marketing lie. And it's why we're in the pickle we're in, because we buy that stuff. We buy it mentally. We purchase it also, but I mean, we buy into it. Your dad used to make something with pork brains. You never could eat it. Yep. I know. But you know what? They were raised in a different era. And if we go through a depression, guess what we'll be doing? We'll be getting really dang creative now, won't we? And we probably won't throw away a lot of things that we throw away now. I have a feeling. And if our bodies were dependent, like solely dependent upon the nutrition of what we were eating, like if we really had to think that way, we probably wouldn't be eating 90% of what we buy at the store now. We all of a sudden go, wow, my body feels so much better after I eat meat. Wow, my hormones are so much happier. I can feel the nutrition. I'm just saying, like, we'd be able to tell the difference, but we don't do that because we don't have to now. So that's probably where it all started with them. So anyway, all right. Well, I do really just like, I hope that helped you in general, just the fat loss hacks from Dr. Ken Berry. I really do want you to be able to like learn how to fish. Like that's the whole point of my conversations. Your kids also eat liver sausage and pork kidneys. Wow. Interesting. Growing up with two Italian parents, we didn't know what we were eating at times, but it was delicious. Yep. That is like so the truth. Like, just don't even tell me what it is. I'll just eat it because, yeah, you never knew what they were doing, what they were putting in their food. But that is very true. But you know what I do? I want to teach you guys how to fish, not just to give you a fish. I know Lisa, yuck, she says. And that's why it's so important. So get into the group. If you're not in the group, I think a lot of you already are, but it's called Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. And when you get in there, eventually you'll get tagged in a free recipe PDF that has some pantry ideas. There's every day people are getting in there. And so it might take a day or 2 days to get yourself tagged in that. But that's something to just resource you. And then every month we do a challenge, a 5-day challenge. And we're just wrapping up one right now for August. And I just have a completely different track for people to run on and to lose weight. If your insulin and your sugars are high, you can't lose weight and you're super frustrated. And if you've never thought about the connection between insulin resistance and the inability to lose weight, that's my conversation all day, every day. I eventually, I started with targeted supplements because I wasn't willing to trade out my foods. That is so true. But when I started to do that, it positioned my body to lose what eventually now has been 3 sizes. Okay. So in my 50s, after my cycle stopped, I've been able to lose 3 sizes. I feel amazing. I'm not on any meds, no type 2 in sight. I'm the only one in my family that's avoided type 2. If you need hope in your heart, if you need encouragement because you're frustrated that your doctor wants to put you on scripts and you don't want to do it, or they want you to take an injection and you don't want to do it, and you're on my content because you're like, maybe there is something natural that I could look into. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So at the top of the Instagram page, there's a pink highlight bubble with testimonies of the trio. The trio are 3 supplements that help with insulin sensitivity. It's just a natural conversation. 3 simple supplements that I started taking over 10 years ago. Look at the testimonies for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Take the word of people who are literally checking their sugars, people that are literally having fasting insulin tests, people that are working with their doctors and they got off of 2 high blood pressure MEDSs this summer. Take their word for it. And if you're in the group already, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, or you're going to jump in there, then take 2 seconds and go to guide number 4, and you'll see more of the testimonies. Okay. So my track to run on for you guys is targeted supplementation, ingredient trade outs, and a challenge every month. And you can be in a completely different place as you cross over into 2025. Heck, you can be in a completely different place by the time Halloween shows up and you're feeling like candy is the only way to live until Easter, because it literally goes from candy holiday to candy holiday to candy holiday. And the reason why I think about that is because literally that's the way that I thought. Like, I'm not making that up. That was like what was in my brain. Your stepmom snuck cow tongue oh, gross. Yes, gross. Your dad lived until he was 95, so there is no good in what they ate, right? Yep, that's right. Especially if he was 95 and he did not have dementia. Exactly why I am here. And take the supplements and my encouragement. You go through every challenge that I offer, Joanne. You're the best. You are the best. Doris, I will send you a cart with all 3 of them in it, because there's 3 separate ones. I'll send you a cart with all 3 of them in it when I get off. That's the best way for you to do it, so you can see everything. The trio was awesome. Judy, I'm so glad. Should you ask your doctor to test me for insulin resistance, though you're sure you are? Judy, you can do whatever you want. If it was me, I wouldn't care. But I'm saying that from a very just honest place of, I was too afraid to go to the doctor. You're welcome, Doris. I just was how do I say this? There are many symptoms for insulin resistance, and we go through those like in the challenges and stuff. And having it told to you by having them pull a fasting insulin test, what does it matter? If you are insulin resistant, and which means that your cell is closed off to taking in insulin, and the food that you eat turns into glucose and it's trying to get glucose into your cell, and you now start to eat in a way that makes you more sensitive, you're only helping yourself at a cellular level. If you start to supplement so that you go from insulin resistant to insulin sensitive, it's opening a door. Like, what does it matter? You don't have to have the test in order to tell you. And in fact, the reason why we're in the pickle we are in right now is because most will not ever pull that test. They will wait until it's too high in your sugars in your blood. And then they'll tell you you're pre-type 2. Fine. Whatever. I already know that, like, maybe my sleep isn't what it needs to be. I already know I'm hungry all the freaking time and my belly is getting big. My belly fat is a little out of control. I already know that, like, I'm exhausted after I eat. Maybe I've got skin tags showing up on my neck or dark patches, or you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't take a team of doctors to tell us that we're insulin resistant. Most of us are. If you have already been diagnosed with PCOS, fatty liver, you've had gout, any of these things, that's why this addresses the liver. It addresses the visceral belly fat underneath the fat that you can pinch. It addresses the sugars and the insulin. We can already tell that our bodies are inflamed. I'm just being super, hi, Adela. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you. You so relate to all of that. Yep. Do I have a link to the group? I do, Karen. And when I get off, I can grab that for you. But you can also search. You can do one of two things. Search Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, or my site is one page, super easy to navigate because it's one page. It's my first and last name, kirstenliebelt.com. kirstenliebelt.com. You'll see the trio on there. You'll see all sorts of good things on there. Scroll up and you'll see a Facebook blue button, and you can jump into the group that way. The supplements, these 3 right here, and you are on Instagram. So guess what? Did I just drop that? Yep. So you can actually go at the very top of the page on Instagram. There's a pink highlight bubble, and it's filled with testimonies. Like, most of them are from January 1st. And you can look at those and jump into my inbox. I'll send you a cart with all 3 of them in it. And TikTok, basically, You either have to jump over to IG. There's on my profile, and then you hit my face again. There's an Instagram logo, and you can click on that and jump over to Instagram. I can't set anything clickable on TikTok. Or there's a number, and you can text me and say, I was on your live. Will you send me that cart? Send me the cart with all 3 in it, and I can do that too. So there's a few ways that I can do that. But I'm just telling you, and I had somebody, and I brought this up recently quite a bit because I feel like it's common. I had somebody say to me, I've been watching you for a full year, and I finally just tried the trio. And that's what happens, right? Like we take in information and then we get distracted, or we self-sabotage, or we're just not mentally ready to step into something. But I will tell you that the easiest piece of your process is taking the supplements. This is the easiest part. Setting alarms on your phone just to take some supplements. The hardest part, and that's why I have the group, is up here, getting your mindset right and getting your heart connections, because maybe you are, like I was, very emotionally connected to food. So this is the harder part, right? I'm just saying. So that's why the group. That's why the group. Nick, you are welcome. You are welcome. So anyway, all of that just to say, Monday through Friday, this is where I'm at, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. We go live 5 days a week here. And then in the group, once a month, we do a 5-day challenge. So today at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time in the group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, we're wrapping up 5 days. The other replays are up in the featured section already, waiting for you, just waiting for you. And today we're going to make a keto lemon blueberry butter cake, and it has cream cheese in it, and it's really, really good. So I'm going to teach that today at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll wrap it up, and then I will be announcing shortly. I have to figure out how I'm going to do it, but I want to take you guys through this book, Self-Sabotage No More. Okay? Because it's Jenny Potter. You can get it on Amazon. It's thin. Even if you don't pay any attention to it in the group, that's fine. But this is who that is, Jenny Potter. And that's what happens is we sabotage ourselves because of our past behavior. Like you've never done it yet. What makes you think you're going to do it now? That kind of a thought process. We have a lot of negative thinking and things that are attached to our childhood in how we think, a lot of tracks in our brains. So anyway, you guys have been absolutely amazing on TikTok today. I want you to just know how much I appreciate you. 3,000 likes. I am so grateful because I just know that it gets the information out further, and that makes me very, very happy. So if you're on TikTok, before I shut down here, and you're not following me, follow me, because then I won't be lost into the algorithm universe. And everybody else have such a good day. And I can't wait to see you in the group. I'm going to get off and answer some questions. And then I do have an appointment in 8 minutes. So I'll answer what I can for 8 minutes. And then I'm going to jump into my appointment. Okay. All right. You guys have such a great day. And if you need anything at all, my contact information is everywhere for a reason. Reach out. Tell me you were on my live and that you need a cart for the trio, or you have a question about something I talked about. Okay. And I will get back to you as soon as I can. See you guys all later.